Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So I want to discuss higher education. So this video is specifically for anyone who has intentions of getting a college degree. And I want to talk about it in terms of a community college, but also how do you transfer from a community college or a junior college to a university. Now, I've done a video previously stating why I believe that community college is better than a university, especially for your first 2 years of your whatever degree that you're going to get, your undergraduate degree, right? And so please go back and take a look at that video to see the reasons why I listed community college as being a better choice for your first 2 years of your college experience and then transferring to a university. Now, I also want to talk about, now specifically today what I want to discuss is the transferring process. Because if you intend to move on from a community college to a university, there's just some things that you have to take into consideration. Now, I know a lot of people after they complete community college, it's, that's good for them. Kudos, they've got their associate degree or their certification, and that's all they really needed to be able to kind of, move forward in their career path, the path that they've chosen. But sometimes, people want to be able to move on from a community college to a university. And so that's what I want to discuss today, the things that you have to take into consideration. Now, I know I would have a lot of international subscribers. So I know I have a lot of people who are overseas, you're not in the US. But just consider this though, all right? Because I'm originally not from the US either. So if you wanted to attend school in the US, you should also think about community college as well. It's a cheaper way to afford your first 2 years of college. All you have to do is look for a community college that has a residence hall, which basically means, they have on-campus housing. And so for a lot of you who might be international, and if not you or your friends or your kids or your whoever are thinking about moving to the US to go to college or to university or whatever the case is, if you don't have the resources to be able to afford a university, a 4-year school, offhand, then what you should do is seriously also consider community college as well, because it will be cheaper, and that way you can kind of get your foot wet, kind of get used to the American system of education, and then you can continue from there on, right? So let's get into the transferring process now. Now, before I do so, please don't forget to subscribe, and please don't forget to turn on your post notifications because I post almost every single day. Also, don't forget to share and hit the like button and leave your comments down below. Those things help the channel grow, and I'll really appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about transferring. Now, if you are currently or you intend to go back to college or whatever the case is, as I've said, attending a community college has a lot of benefits. And so if you intend to move on after your associate degree, or just maybe after completing your hours, because there are some people who don't complete their hours, and I'll tell you why maybe you should complete complete your degree and move on, but we'll talk about it. If you have decided that you want to move on to a 4-year degree, all right, remember your courses from a community college can transfer into a university. But what you have to do is you have to decide at some point, the sooner the better, right? Where do you want to go after you're attending your community college or junior college, whatever they call it in whatever state that you live in? So when you decide, let's say you want to go from, the small community college that you're enrolled to a state school or to a private school or whatever, find out from that school, right? And it depends on the program you're going to be transferring in. So if you're a business major, right, what classes will they take at that university that you can take at that community college? And that's what you need to figure out. You need to be concentrating and focusing on the transferring process. I know it can be stressful. I've been there several times having to transfer, but you would be able to figure out the transfer process a whole lot easier the more you start looking at it from an early stage in your academic career. So when you know where you want to go, then you could start taking classes that university will take, because a lot of universities are very picky about what classes they will take from a community college. A lot of times, to be honest with you, it's just because they probably want people to take their classes, right? So because there are a couple classes I had to repeat. I think two classes I had to repeat that I took at a community college when I transferred from community college to university. And when I transferred to the university and I retook those classes, they were the exact same classes. Like the material was not different at all, right? It was really kind of like a refresher. The only thing is I had to pay thousands of dollars for those classes versus just paying a couple $100 that I paid at a community college because they didn't want them to transfer. So select the university that you want to transfer to and start looking at their catalog and your community college's catalog and see what classes you can take at the community college that would transfer. Now, sometimes the community college that you're attending might require you take certain classes to complete your associate degree with them, and all of those classes may not necessarily transfer over to that university, right? But sometimes what some universities would do, depending on if it's a state school and they have an arrangement between the state schools and the universities and stuff and the community colleges within the state that you live, is that if you were to complete your associate degree at that community college, a lot of times those universities then are more likely to take the hours, and they might have an agreement on the books that they're gonna have to take those hours and do something with them. Either they have them as electives or whatever the case is, but they'll take those hours. So that's something you've got to really look at, right? Don't wait until the last semester to decide, well, now I want to go so and so. I know a lot of people do that, but as sooner you make up your mind, as sooner you make that decision, it'll be a whole lot easier for you, right? And so that you'll be able to transfer over to that school and you'll have less stress. Now, the other thing is, even if you have transferred to a university, so you completed your hours, typically 60 hours at a community college, right? And you've moved over to a university. Sometimes there are still classes that you can, but the hours you took at the community college satisfy the requirements at the community college for the associate degree that you got there. But there were classes, maybe two or three or so, maybe that you needed to take that you could have, but you didn't because you were more focused on getting the associate degree. But when you go to the university will still take those classes. Well, guess what? All you have to do is still go back and take your classes at the community college and transfer them to the university, even though you're attending the university. I see people do it all the time. So you could be enrolled at a university, but you could still be enrolled at a community college at the same time. And so you're still trying to take certain classes at the community college, right? And then obviously you transfer those classes over to the university. Some universities would take a lot of hours. I have seen universities take up to 65 or 70 hours from community college students. A lot of times they want you to take the last 45 or 50 hours or so of their classes. That usually those are really specific to your major. And so a lot of times those are the courses that you just have to take them at the university. But a lot of times you're able to transfer at least 60, sometimes a little bit more. And as I've said, it makes a huge difference in terms of cost, class sizes, all that type of stuff. So go back and check out that video about the reasons why I list you should attend a community college, right? So I know a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people do not know that you could start off at a community college and then you could transfer those hours to a university. I have met people like that all the time who are saying, well, but if I go to a community college and I get it, don't I have to start over at a university? No, you don't have to start over at a university, right? You do not have to start over at a university if you start at a community college. The classes you take, if not all, certainly most of them are going to transfer over to that university. It's just that you'd have saved yourself a lot of money by starting off at the community college. And by the way, probably got yourself an associate degree so you could actually be working. If you're one of those people who were like me who had to be working while I was attending college, then you're going to be working, you have an associate degree, probably be able to boost your income so that you could help pay your way through a university, because universities can be really expensive if you don't have a scholarship to help you pay all that stuff. So that's just something I wanted to, kind of share with you about transferring. It's really important. From the moment you know what school you're going to go to, get their catalog, speak to an advisor at that school, not just any advisor, but an advisor in the program that you're intending to transfer to. So if you're going to move into major in engineering or whatever, find an advisor in that program, not just any advisor, but someone who's going to tell you these are the courses that will transfer over for your engineering degree or your business degree, your English degree, or your whatever degree that you're going to get, right? It helps to make your process of transferring a whole lot smoother, can save you a whole lot of time, and time when you're operating within that space means you're saving yourself sometimes a lot of money as well. So let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave your comments. If there's a video you would like for me to make, also leave that in the comments as well, or you can contact me on Instagram. My handle's below as well. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to share and like the videos. Those two things help the channel grow, and I'll really appreciate it if you do that. So until next time, peace.